Hello, Bulldog Nation. Week 8 of the football season. Coach Renfro, please subscribe while you're watching this. Hit the little bell so you know when we're on. It'll come in. It'll tell you on your phone or your device. Make sure you do that for us so that you always know when we're on. Coach, last week, come out against Beaumont. Beaumont just lights out, and had another one of those where we had a couple kids that kind of got injured, had to make some moves in there from the week before, some changes. We dropped the game to them, but there was a lot of bright spots. Some sophomores in the backfield that had to play a little bit, had some other stuff. What's your overall take from the ball game before we move on?
We struggled moving the ball, and after the first quarter, we struggled moving the football up and down the field. Didn't manage to get many first downs, but when you're starting a bunch of guys on the offensive line that don't have a lot of varsity experience, it's tough. Cooper played well in spots. Kobe had a couple good runs. Eric had the big run. We got to throw and catch the football a little bit better. Jamad Jackson came in and played for us a little bit at quarterback and did a really good job. Spears played some outside receiver and inside receiver and moved him around a little bit. There are some bright spots coming off on that. Defensively, it's the most yards we've given up all year. They exposed us on the edge a little bit. We didn't fit things very well that we worked all week in practice. It's just, our eye discipline wasn't very good, and it wound up catching up with us in the end. We had our chance late in the game. We scored, had the football, driving down the field, had a chance to score, and make the thing interesting, and we didn't execute. But, we got a lot of guys that didn't come off the field playing both ways, and they're tired. I'm not a superstitious person, but before the game started in our pregame when we were talking, I was talking about, our defense is giving up average about one touchdown, real touchdown a game, and then we come into it and we've got guys that are having to play both ways because of injuries. It still goes back to that. Well, I watched Siafa, I watched Greenwald. They left it on the field. I said it 100 times Friday night, and right there at the end, you could tell for the first time that I've watched Travis grow up on that field. He was tired walking back to the huddle. He was out. Again, special teams keeps us in the ball game. Justin catches the line drive punt and almost takes it in. We turn around and get it in there. And there are some bright spots. I thought Jamad did a great job. He dropped a couple balls. He just dropped the ball where he needed to. You don't really want to throw them to the Wolves. No, sir.
Like in the middle of the season where now we got our back against the wall and now we have to win.
Yes, sir.
And that's one of the things. So we go into the half, we come back out, we did make some adjustments. We held our own with many kids going in. How many yards, do you remember how many yards we actually gave up?
It was around 350.
So that's the most we have given up, period. And there was a lot of things that there were some bright spots. It's one of those weekends, you and I were talking just a minute ago, you go in, you watch the film, you grade it, you go out. And so anything second half stood out to you? Any major injuries this week? Anything?
Well, they have the kid number 2, Chandler Rivers. He's one of the best players in the state of Texas. He's being offered by everybody, and he's just a junior. But he played defense most of the game. Hadn't been on offense very much. And, they spread us out and get us some no backs, and they put him over there on the number 2 receiver, and it kind of created a matchup issue for us. So we tried to make an adjustment, to account for him. And when you do that, it makes you vulnerable in other areas, and they were able to tax on the edge, and then we tried to make another adjustment, and I'll give it to their coaches, they did a good job of countering off what we were doing defensively, so that was one thing that they did really well. But we give up the first touchdown, first play, right after halftime, their first offensive play. We just didn't cover the sucker off of the bubble, and but after that, we calmed down and we held them out. And kept it close, gave ourselves a chance. There was a couple times, like before the punt to Justin, we had the ball in about the 42, and it was 4th down and about 5, and real easy to go for it right there. But I was like, what, we're playing pretty good. Let's just punt it down there. The special teams down the ball at the 1. Defense bowed their neck, made them punt, and we got the ball at the 1, scored, and had a chance to go for 2, and just didn't execute. They actually held him pretty good. But I was proud of our kids for at least fighting. That's what we're going to have to do the rest of the year. So,
that game it really did. It put our back against the wall. We have to win out we still have mathematically. There's a chance that we could still be the 2 seed. It still could happen. Beaumont has to lose 2 games, but it's still there. You know, you talk about it all the time in the NFL. If this team scores, you know, you see that all the time. But mathematically, we still can get to the 2 seed. We're looking at the 3 seed for sure. We went out with who's got to fight. It's going to have to come to that again. It's going to come down to who wins where. Yeah. And that's what that game has done to us. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But you know, you have to stay on track, but the hard thing is coming off of a game like this, how do you keep the kids on track? How do you keep them focused going into a week where, and Coach, I'm going to say this also, I don't think we've been on the field with anybody that we can't beat.
Yes, sir.
There's no discussion on that at all. I can sit all day long and somebody can try to change my mind, but I don't see us playing anyone so far that we can't beat. But how do you keep them focused and make sure they know that?
Well, you know, the big thing that we've talked about all week with the seniors is, you know, after yesterday's practice, I told them, you got 2 more Mondays left. That's all you got in your career. I mean, because the harsh reality of it is there ain't very many of them going to play college football. Right. So this is the end of it for them. And so, you know, what kind of legacy do you want to leave when you leave this place? You want to leave one of, you left everything you had on the field and you gave it all you got, gave yourself a chance to win and get in the playoffs. So we talk about that and our focus at practice, the little things, you know, being on time, taking care of your schoolwork. When you get on the field, you know, to block everything else out and focus on, do your job, you know, take your step, read your guard, do what you're supposed to do when you're on the field so that it carries over to Friday night. And so, you know, just being disciplined in that, understanding that we do kind of control our own destiny. We don't have total control of it, but, you know, this is a playoff game.
It is.
And playoffs are very brutal. And that's, you know, other than Albert Regis, nobody else on the team's ever played a playoff game. So you got a bunch of guys that hadn't been in that scenario, but, like, you got to give yourself a chance to win. It's going to come down to the last play. I think, you know, the Arizona Cardinals showed us that on Sunday.
I mean, they did.
Just give yourself a chance and give yourself a chance on that last play of the game to have a chance to win, and you never know what's going to happen.
Have you switched the mentality with them thinking that, hey, it's from here out, it's a playoff?
Yeah, it's a playoff mentality. That's what we talked about Saturday. This is playoff focus, playoff mentality. I mean, you're fighting for your life, so you got to play every play as hard as you can, leave everything on the field.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. We'll talk about Goose Creek Memorial. I also have a whole lot more for you tonight, so stay tuned right after these messages.
As a Bulldog alumni myself, I know firsthand how this community steps up to take care of its own. At Gringos, we pride ourselves in doing the same.
Since 1993, we've supported numerous organizations and causes with the intent of making our community a better place. Whether it's spirit nights, donations, or sponsorships, Gringos stands ready to do our part. But we can't do it without you, our guests.
So next time you're catering lunch at the refinery or meeting up after the game, let Gringos do the cooking and help us change lives one taco at a time.
Go Dogs!
Are you looking for your dream home? Or maybe ready to sell your current home for a fresh start? Main Properties is here to provide you a personal and stress-free process. Main Properties has been servicing the LaPorte area and its surrounding cities for over 30 years with pride and spirit. Let one of our expert realtors here at Main Properties provide you with the caring service that is tailored to what you need. Come see us in the heart of Old LaPorte at 1014 South 2nd Street and let us put sold on your sign.
If you're ready to become a skilled and safe driver, contact us at South Region Driving School. We are conveniently located next to LaPorte High School. We offer driver education classes and private driving lessons for teen and adult drivers. All courses are state approved and can be tailored to meet all your driving needs. At South Region Driving School, our top priority is always the safety of our students. We are currently practicing in-class social distancing. DPS has a very long wait list for driving tests. Don't wait. We can do the DPS-approved road test here at South Region. From the first time behind the wheel to the day of the driving test, we'll guide your teen to success. At South Region Driving School, we develop safe drivers.
Coach, we come in this week, Goose Creek. They did end up winning last week against Friendswood late, if I'm not mistaken. It was funny because at one point during the broadcast, everybody was tied.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of opened up a little bit. Port Arthur went ahead. Goose Creek scored late. I think our broadcast had finished, but when their game was still playing, they played a 7:30 kickoff for some reason. And then, but they ended up winning. Like we said, the first part of the show, playoff mentality. What do you see from Goose Creek Memorial?
You see a team that on defense they're going to blitz everybody, and they're going to hit you sometimes. But the same thing, you can hit them. Coach Carter's done a good job with that program. Wasn't in a great shape a couple of years, but his second year there, and he's done a good job of turning the corner with those guys. They play hard. Offensively, they have two quarterbacks they play. One throws the ball a little better than the other one, but the other one's a little better athlete, and he wants to run it. Their running back's really good. I mean, he runs straight downhill, and he's a good inside zone runner. I've been very impressed with them the last 2 weeks. They were losing to Sterling. Last drive of the game, they drive down and score to win. And then last week they were tied with Friendswood, and they drive down and they kick a field goal to win. So that's kind of the difference between them and us right now is they've been able to execute in those situations and win the game, and we're trying to figure those things out. So it's going to be very important for us this week.
Goose Creek's coming in, just like you said, with those two late victories. They're in the same spot we're in. So it's wide open for them. There's no telling what kind of trick plays, what kind of they're opening up some dusty playbooks to come into the next couple of weeks to try to stay out there. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yes, sir.
Because, like we were talking about, the 3 seed plays Foster. Mm-hmm. The 4 seed is going to play Manville.
Yes, sir.
And Manville would be, but they're going to have to throw in some wrinkles to get after us. As we move into this week, what kind of changes have we had to do? I know we've had we're banged up. I know that. That's a given with where we're at. But what kind of changes have we got?
We're trying to figure out how to get some different guys in football and offense. We got a couple different packages, some wrinkles, like you said. We're going to be creative and figure out a way to get our best players touches. That's what we had done a very good job of the last couple of weeks. Again, kind of like last week, there's no holding any bullets left in your gun. You're going to have to use everything you got. Travis and Terrence are going to have to play. Albert's going to have to play. And Eric's going to have to play. We're just going to have to, those guys are going to have to play, and they know that, and they understand the situation. They're willing to do whatever it takes. Offensive line-wise, we're just trying to find the right mix with the right guys. Nathan White did a good job stepping in at strong tackle for us. Pete's continued to do a good job at strong guard. Decker and Keyshawn have done a good job at strong guard for us. We're looking at maybe another guy that possibly move up there and see if he can help us in that spot. But, start getting thin across the board at that position. But it is what it is. We got to do whatever's best to win games on Friday nights. Defensively, just trying to figure out how we can get Eric a break and a series here or there. So Summers is going to step in and do what, he was playing earlier in the year quite a bit, and it's kind of been, on or off for him. But, everybody else on defense is, pretty healthy. There's not much depth on the D-line. No. Nathan was our backup D-lineman, and when you put him on the offensive line, it kind of – you see those effects of those things late in the game. So we're just trying to figure out how to be fresh, cut back reps and practice and understand that video is very important.
We're talking about a sophomore, with White.
Yes, sir.
He's still a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's bigger than I am, and he's a great kid, but he's still he's a sophomore.
Yes, sir.
And he's playing both ways, trying to feel and give Regis a breather, or come in and move to the outside, and then he's got to go back in and get in the huddle.
Yes, sir.
And not jump off sides, not do all the little things that get your butt beat, and that's one of the things. In the backfield, I said this in the last game, we had 3 sophomores in the backfield, a quarterback, fullback, and a running back.
Yes, sir.
You got to do what you got to do. Do you see that moving forward in this week? Do you see those?
Yeah,
those guys?
I see possibly, some of them guys getting a lot more reps. Deshaun came in and played fullback for us and did a really good job. So did Fabian Solis, and he's a senior, but both of those guys did a really good job. Spears played some receiver, like I said, David Price and Hilburn, and those guys have done a good job playing receiver. But, Spears was able to do some things. There might be some wrinkles tied into him being there this week. Was playing a lot of young guys, and it's tough.
It's still Texas 5A football.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we just moved down. We moved out of the frying pan into the fire, really, on moving down on how we are. And you know, is what you and I have talked about as the season has progressed. You've got to find the next man up because of the injuries.
Yes, sir.
We didn't get any major injuries last week, right? We're banged up a little bit, but we're not losing an injury wise.
Yeah.
We didn't lose anybody
No,
for the week. Okay, that's good. Everybody that was out there playing, we've bandaged them up a little bit.
Yeah, we're pretty beat up, but you know, it goes to play. You know, goes to part of it.
It's Texas football.
Yeah,
that's part of it. This week, underclassmen, freshmen. We'll start with freshmen this week.
Okay.
Freshman White will be here.
Yes, sir.
And they're playing Friendswood again.
Yes, they're playing Friendswood again.
Well, you know that doesn't count. It's over with.
Yeah, we already won the district.
Yeah,
this is a game.
Yeah, that's just a game.
And they played really well. That freshman White team, man, they just get better. They've gotten better every week. And last week they played really good.
It was fun watching. I had to watch it on the road because I was in Arkansas, but it was fun. I got home, got settled, watched the film, and you're right. It's you've got some kids that have learned how to play the game. Leland Tran is running the ball hard.
Yes, sir.
I wish he'd have run like that in 7th and 8th grade. We may have been undefeated.
Taylor's running the ball well.
Taylor's running the ball very well.
And Dallas Lott just takes care of the football for us.
He does. And Dallas Ronan and Dallas are about the same size, and there's no way he can see over the line at all times, but he is. He's taking care of the ball. He's doing what he needs to do to win.
Yes, sir.
And defensively, though, Carrasco for that team, I don't know how many interceptions he's got in the last 3 weeks, but he's been outstanding. The defense has been good. That's 2 back-to-back shutouts for him.
Yes, sir.
For the JV White. JV Orange, they'll be playing also at
Goose Creek at 6.
At 6.
Yes,
so
sir.
the start of that one was 4:30. And then 6 for the Orange, and they've been in every ball game.
Yeah, they've played their tails off.
I think they've done a great job.
Yes, sir.
We've moved some of their players also.
Yeah.
I see some of them staying after for a little extra practice. So that's moved around.
Yes, sir.
JV White they're traveling this week.
JV White's going to Ridge Point. They're playing Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Ooh, going to Ridge Point.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be fun.
Yes, sir.
We'll see next week how that one goes. So they'll go over there. Tickets for that game?
They're sold online on a link.
Okay, they're over at Ridge Point.
Yes,
Make sure you buy it before you go to Ridge Point.
Yes, and they're only letting two people per player.
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But JV Orange, they're in contention to win a conference.
Yeah,
the district title.
They can win the district title, win and out. So that'd be good. Friendswood has a couple losses, and that's one team that beat us by 1 point. So, they're fighting their tails off, and we keep taking players from them. You move Jamai, and you move Day up, and they just continue to find a way to win. Guys are stepping in and doing what they're supposed to do. So,
if you like to watch football, the JV Orange and those guys, watch them on TV, folks. It's some of the most it is basic football, but it's some of the most fundamental football that that's the teams that you watch for just to enjoy the game. Speaking of them, they're going over. Where do they play?
At Goose Creek High School.
So they're going to be at Goose Creek High School.
Sir.
Tickets for that game?
Sold online, GCISD Athletics.
And they're letting everybody in. Just got to buy a ticket.
Just got to buy a ticket
to get in. That same thing that happened when we went over to Lee. What time does that game start again?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock on that. So that's our football week leading into Friday.
Yeah.
Broadcast week this week is just all over the place. This is being recorded on Tuesday. We have Deer Park girls here tonight. Our varsity girls will be here. That'll be broadcast on LP Sportsnet. Senior night.
Yes, sir.
Is Wednesday. And you texted me while I was gone. That's Wednesday. What time will we start the recording?
We're going to start about 5 o'clock.
Okay, 5 o'clock. Parents are going to come through. We're going to put the bulldog head up.
Yes, sir.
We're going to record it, get it all fixed, and we'll play it before the game on Friday. And that's for everybody. That's football.
Chatos, cheerleaders, band.
There you go.
All of us.
Tuba players, you're invited. So come on. So that's Wednesday night. Thursday night, we have the freshmen here. Friday night, we have varsity boys back here. They'll play on LP Sportsnet 2. We're trying to fix that so you can pull it up. It's hard to find that going in and searching for it, but it'll be in the description of last week's ball game if you want to see it, and we'll try to get a link up on the website for you so that you can make sure that you can see it. LP Sportsnet 2, it'll be boys basketball. They'll tip off probably about 45 minutes before kickoff against Goose Creek, who will also be Friday here at the stadium on LP Sportsnet. So, I know that's a whole lot going on.
I'm confused now.
But that's what's happening. You can rewind and watch it again. I promise you it's right. I've ran it through my head a couple times. So that's our week of broadcast this week. Friday night, Goose Creek here, 7 o'clock. Make sure you buy your tickets still the same way. Get your QR scan code in so that you can just walk in the ball game and have no problems. Coach, good luck to you Friday night.
Thanks, sir.
We'll be there as always. Folks, if you haven't, I'm going to remind you again, please subscribe. We need your subscriptions on there so that we can move forward. We appreciate you. All of our sponsors, you saw them on there. If you are interested in sponsoring, please let us know. Call the admin office and they'll get you in touch with the right person. We will see you Friday night, 7 o'clock.
Go Dogs.